were in hiding.
Yeah.
Then what happened?
My parents weren't there. You know, they came all the time over asking where we were. They couldn't find us. So my parents couldn't be hiding by himself. The hiding place had to be very quiet. Nobody should know that you're there. And the people who hide you are just the same persecuted as the people who were. Those people were very brave. It was a big thing to do.
Big risk.
Very big risk. So he said right away, take your parents too. So we are 4 of there. They were very, very nice. They were so good to us. But in that time, Germany took all the food out of Holland, the most. And the people get all the things in little, how you say it, stickers. Like you had the bread was in it and a bun. How you call
bread
it?
Lines?
Yeah, you can put bread here and like the card,
food stamps.
Food stamps. We get food stamps, and it was for milk, for butter, for everything that you want to buy. So that for people in hiding, they were very hard. And they get 2 breads instead of 5 or 4. You couldn't buy what you want. That time the underground in Holland started already to work. It was a big underground. There was sabotaging airways and shoot people, and they really tried to undermine the Germans. So it was a big underground, and they also made false food cards. So they knew already about the grapevine, people who wanted food cards, people who helped other people, and on the ground, and so the people who made the cards knew that 4 people were hiding by Mr. Janssen. Jan Janssen was his name. Like Martin. Martijn was actually his name. I knew Martijn. And they get the cards from the underground. Every month they get so many cards. Not only me. It was we get cards. My brother, who was with the sister who was hiding somewhere, they get cards. My other sister get cards. Everybody, not only our family, but they had a whole bunch of people. So they suspected that one of the people worked in the underground, and they got him. And he nearly killed him. And he had on him addresses, and our address was on it. So middle in the night, the SS came around the place where we lived, came around us, and they just, the guy where we were in hiding, like John, who climbed over a wall, but she was actually German, like Nini, you know. So she came in, and the police said, they came right away upstairs, and they find us. We had a hiding place, we had no time to go in. So we were there, my husband, like Max, and my parents and me, and they came and took us out of the house. And
do you know what they did to your landlords, the people?
No,
that were
they
hiding
did. He got away, and I have to tell you
away?
a little story about him. When we got away, there was about 3-4. He lived by his mother for a while, and then he took other 4 Jewish people in after us. And he get them out of end of the war, he saved those people. So he was really somebody special. Really one. And now we have to go back. When we get picked up, they took us to a police station in Haarlem. And they was a police station.
Where's Haarlem?
That is the suburb van Heemstede, and it is a town. It's not that small. It is it's a town. And they, so we were there maybe for an hour, and then my brother and my sister-in-law came in.
They had rounded them up as well.
Also from the
underground.
Yeah.
And who else?
And my older sister, who went away, but she had a baby. And when the SS came in the hiding place, she went back for the baby, and he took her with the baby.
They killed her?
They killed her both.
On the spot?
No, they took him also to, I don't know, they took him to Auschwitz.
You never saw her again?
Never saw her again. I know that when we were in the police station, my sister-in-law, my brother came in, and they were crying so much. And I said, he said, you don't know what happened to us. There was a little boy hiding, also Jewish boy. He was 5 years old, living also in their place. And the landlord, what you say, he did not want to give the kid to the SSers. And he shot him.
They shot the landlord?
Yeah, just where the parents and everybody was there. So my brother-in-law, my sister, was absolutely out of their mind. And they took the kid anyway. Never saw him back. So they were crying, and you know what happened to them, you know.
Were there other Jews at this police station at the same time?
No, we were
in
Haarlem the only one. We were six of us. They took us in the night, took us with a big tractor. They took us to Amsterdam. Amsterdam, there was a big theater, and all the people from the razzia's and from the people who were picked up, like us. And there was quite a big theater was full with people. Maybe 200-300 people were laying on the floor on mattresses and blankets and things like this.
What was the name?
And the name of the Netherlands Schouwburg. It was in theater. It was in the Amstelaan.
A stage theater or a movie theater? What type of
No,
a
it was
theater?
a stage theater. And they made it empty, and they put Jewish people in a Jewish Schouwburg. And it is still there in Amsterdam. They made a museum out of it in Amsterdam. So anyway, the people was like, they put them all together there. And the SS came in and out, and you know, and there was a lot of, that time, when we came in the theater, it was all very bad. Well, I saw people committed suicide.
Was there any food?
Yeah, they gave food. They gave enough food, and it was still the Dutch people were still a little bit. The Dutch committee, they made sure that there was food, there was blankets, there was drink, you know.
And how long
you see,
did
but you see, when we came in Schouwburg, they knew we were picked up from out of a hiding place, and they say, "Aha, you were a year and a half in hiding." So they gave us with paint, red paint, a big S on our clothes. S was for straf, for punishment. So the punishment was, we should go the first. When there was transports,
you should be the first transport out.
That's right. We should go the first on transport. So we were there only 1 or 2 nights, and the transport, and then we sent us to Westerbork, where the train leaves.
How did they take you to Westerbork?
In tractors, like close with police and SS, you know. So then we went to Westerbork, and the men were separate and the women were separate.
How many people were on this tractor to Westerbork?
I can't remember, maybe 40, 50, I don't know. I can't. So then it was a lot, but it was, it is not that far, it's maybe 2 hours. So we were there, and then we get food in Westerbork, and the men and the women were separate. I sneaked, instead of staying with the woman, I went with the men, and I said to my husband, I stay with you the night, you know. He said, but it is dangerous. So there was more people around him. He said, if you're quiet, and then you could stay together. So in the middle of the night, there was a big tumult, and they looked for people they wanted to take. So my husband was afraid they would find me with him. So they climbed out of his bed, and they took him and other people out of that Westerbork. And in that night, there were 12 people shot. They were gijzelaars. They were the Germans killed them, for they were in the underground. They were they were against the Germans. They were not Jewish. They were all Gentile. And my husband, who was an artist and was actually not used to do killings and things, he had to bury them. He had to take it. They were blindfolded. They were shot. And he had
in Westerbork?
In Westerbork.
And you had to bury them in Westerville.
I had to bury them. You had to take them off the pole. And he was when he came back, I didn't see him before nearly the train left. I was there. I was frantic that he went away. I didn't know where he was. So some people put me back to the women's, some boys I knew already, Dutch people said, you go back to your mother. And then I know he was picked up, but I didn't know for what. So then the next morning, our names were right away called up. SS came with the names. My parents, my sister, my brother, my mother, my father. And then we came to the trains, and who comes on? Max, like my first husband. And crying. You know, I said, I just buried people. I am absolutely crazy, you know. So we went... and the trains were just cattle wagons. There was a little opening in the top. There was a bucket of water and a bucket to go to the washroom, and there was some food in it. Cucumber, there was some food in it. And
did you say there was food in it?
There was food. Yeah, there was like cucumbers and bread. I don't know what was in it. I didn't eat. I remember that. So we were in there, and when I came close to the train, I saw staying outside Auschwitz. I heard a little bit about Auschwitz, but I didn't know what. So we.
How long were you on that? Do you have any memory how long you were on that train?
Oh, it's at least 5-6 days.
At least 5-6 days.
Yeah, 5-6 days.
About how many people were on that train?
No, that is enormous. You nearly couldn't lay down. You had to sit up nearly. It was so full. One bucket with 100 people. Can you imagine how it stunk? But after, you know, it was, people, you couldn't go to the washroom. It was all flowed over in maybe an hour. So we were sitting with my parents. It is dark. And there's only a little opening in the top. And we used to talk to each other in our hands, you know, and we hoped that we could stay together.
What did you talk about?
The main thing we talked about with my parents and my husband, that we should stay together. We were not afraid to work. We have worked all our lives.
Is that what you thought you were going to do, to go to a work camp?
I thought we could stay together and we could work hard, and we were hoping. We weren't sure, you know. My husband said that is a pipe dream. He used to say that to me.
He thought it was.
He thought it would be worse than he was more. But we were hoping. Even if we didn't believe, we thought it would be very, very bad. You know. But when we were in the train, and after the whistles blow, and we came in a big platform, and big lights came on us.
What's the first thing you saw when
I came out in Auschwitz, when I stepped out in the train, everybody had to get out, and I stayed in the train. And I said, that is the last cause. I saw people walking around just with the striped, and the little caps in the ears, and it was in September the 23rd that I came in Auschwitz. And I asked somebody very quietly,
did you see any smoke? Did you smell anything?
I smelled a very rubbery smell. You saw when Auschwitz stinks. So the smell, rubber smell, and shootings.
You heard shootings?
When I came out of the train, the kids were crying. They were shot, and the men didn't like the women.St of all, there was selections.
Right away.
When we came out of the train, there was big trucks staying on both sides. And SS's, on one side I was Mengele, and he used to say the men all this way, and the young men there, and the women there. So right away the people get separated. So the men didn't want the women go. The women didn't let them. There was a real chaos.
What happened? Were you separated right away?
Crying, yeah. My father and my husband and my brother get to one side. And my mother and my sister and me were on the other side. And suddenly, I saw a big tractor stay, and young people, young women with children, and kids under 15 years old, and people older than 50. They asked me what age you were. They were thrown on the truck. And before I know it, they took my mother up and they just threw her in the truck, And I said, hey. I said, that's my mother. you know. And I know she couldn't hear. I think, what gonna go happen to her?
Was she trying to signal you at all?
Yeah, she told me on her hands that truck is no good. She smelled maybe, I don't know. So I went to Mengele. Everybody was afraid. I went to him and I said, please. I said, my mother just go on the truck and she can't hear. Or you have to let me go with her. Or she has to come with me. Or let her come with me. And he looked me over and he said, no, he said, your mother can stay easily on the truck and you have to walk, you're young. He said, you're a strong woman, you can walk and it is far. He said, you see your mother later and you know, and let her go. My mother stays in the truck. I see the truck driving away. Slowly with my mother telling me that the truck is no good on her fingers. And I staying there and couldn't get her off. So that was unbelievable. My father was on the other side with my brother. I couldn't see him anymore. He was most probably going away right away too. So my brother and my husband were together. So we stayed in the line, in the big line, and suddenly Mengele comes out and put with this little stick, took me out, took my sister-in-law out, and about 40 people. He said, those 40 people come with the SS'er and 2 SS'er, and they had to go somewhere. So they took us in Auschwitz. Now, there was 2 lagers. There was one Birkenau, the women's lager, and there was Auschwitz. I went to Auschwitz, where the men were. So they took us there. There was a little lager, little thing, and they took us away, and they took our... I had a wedding band, and I thought nothing at all. And they took us out, and you had to take all your clothes off.
They took away all your jewelry, whatever.
I had, yeah, the most was already jewelry. I had a watch and a ring, and nothing special. We were not rich people. That way, we didn't have a lot of jewelry, but we had to take it out. What they did to me, I had a gold tooth. Yeah, one gold tooth instead of and they took it out.
They pulled that right away?
Yeah, yes, they put it out just like this. So I was crying. They shaved my hair. They shaved all your body all your things. And
did you still have your sister with you?
My sister-in-law was always with me. So she was very, very blonde. You can see later the pictures of a beautiful woman. Very blonde, long hair, and they shaved it down. And she felt all the curls falling down. She felt terrible. And I was that day I had my period and no clothes, everything. Oh, unbelievable! It does not. You can say, but the lack of decency, nothing. You know, you say put out your naked, absolutely naked, before them, and then the haircut off, and they took me tooth out, and I was so frustrated. And then the guy came who made the numbers. And he saw the blood coming out of my mouth, and he said to me very softly in German, he said, I have to give you a number. He was also a prisoner. I'm going to make it very small. And he did. He wanted to do something for me, we didn't know it. So he gave me the smallest number who ever existed,
Do you want to just show the number to the camera? I think it's 63175.
So the other ones had numbers on the whole arm. He made mine very small. So then they took us out of and I was still without clothes. So we went through the men lager with all the men looking at us.
Naked?
I had no clothes. And we took us to block 10. And there we get clothes. I had an underwear and a dress and, something. So when I came in block 10, and the first thing what I said was my mother.
You saw your mother?
No, I said, where is my mother?
You said, where is your mother?
I didn't know they go straight to the gas chamber then. I still had a hope that she would be there. And then they told me right away, she went in a truck, forget it. They go straight to the gas chamber and they get burned. And then I know you smell in the Auschwitz.
Did the other prisoners that had been there longer tell you what was going on?
Yeah, most probably longer.
Did they educate you?
And they told me to see the smoke and the ash, they get right away burned. First of all, I think they say something to make me afraid, But then I understand it was true.
The other prisoners were receptive to the newcomers?
No, they are. First of all, don't forget, when we were there for an hour or two, they came, the SS came with a big paper. And they said to us, I have to say something to you. Here's an experiment block. They do experiments on human beings, but you don't have to. You have to sign that you do it out of free will. If you don't want to sign, you go tomorrow morning, the truck comes and you go to the gas chamber. Or you sign and you let the experiments do it to you, like. So, we were in hiding till 1943. And we heard already that the Germans are not so, they lost already quite a bit battles. And we said to my sister-in-law, let us try. Maybe we can stay alive. Maybe the war is soon over.
So you signed the papers, and
we signed the papers. We did sign the papers that we have yeah. So middle in the night, I hear screaming and crying, and people with big holes in the body and this and that. And I say to her sister-in-law, I'm not going to do that. Is that the experiments doing what they do to you? Said, I'm not going to stay here, Said, I'd rather die right away. People with, no layer, it's awful. It was like a nightmare. So I said to my sister-in-law, I'm not going to do that. We tell them tomorrow morning, we want to go. So at least we get gas, but it's not, you're going to die anyway. They said after 3 months, the people around us, they told her after 3 months, they can't use you anymore, you go anyway. They take the trucks and they take you away. They don't let you live.
So what happened?
So the morning we get up, we said to the people, now let us, I say to the guy there, I said, no, we like to go with the other ones. He said, no, you signed and you have to stay. So, and we were frightened like anything, we were so afraid. Unbelievable. And I said to Lily, and the other said, no, they don't always do, some experiments are not that bad, and try, and some doctors try to, not that hard, try, they try to the people, there were more prisoners there, they try to, and a lot of people did not do it and went. So we were staying there, and then we find out after a while that the most important thing was to sterilize us. They get a lot of other experiments too, but the most was to sterilize us.
So can you just tell us what they did to you personally?
They try to give big injections in your womb.
Did they take you somewhere else to do this?
Yeah,
or did
it was downstairs. Wasn't like an.
What do you mean downstairs?
The block 10 had three stories. Downstairs was on the side was like a laboratorium. There was a big black, like a brancard, like an stretcher, and they could make like an X-ray table. They put the needle in you, and you could see that you could follow the fluid what they put in you, where it came, and like they made pictures.
They did this in a building?
They did it downstairs in the building.
Uh-huh.
And those needles were very painful. I think they put some burning stuff in it. I don't know what. We were with blisters and bleeding, and we were screaming pretty good. So
did they use any anesthetic when they did this to you?
No, no anesthetic. They also had they put little pieces out of the womb.
They took
they put pieces out of the pieces out of the womb, and to make it shorter, so you could not expand and could not get children.
How many times did they do this to you?
The one the operator did only one, but the needles had 3. But I have to tell a little story. Mostly when you go in Auschwitz or so, you get so shocked your period disappeared. After the one time I came, I never had my period again. But my sister-in-law always did. Every month she was, and if I was, they could not work on you, the operations, if you had your period. The doctors find it most probably too messy. So when I was called, I took, and you know there was no clean clothes. I took her panty-on and went to the doctor and said, look, I have my period, I can't do.
Did that work?
That worked. 2-3 times it worked. So I was really saved for the big operations. I had the needles, I had all the other. They put like injections in one breast, and it was like this, and a week later they gave another one. They gave all kinds of trying experience. What they did with this, we don't know. They're never going to tell you, sweetheart, they're going to tell you I did it. They don't. They took you, they did it, you know.
Did you see any other women? Did you see any other experiments besides the one that you had? Can you just tell us what else you saw?
No, I know they... no, I think that the main thing was the
sterilization.
And also how you we nearly all get the same, the injections what you get like in your back, in your breast, in your stomach. That was for
I don't know.
Maybe they put something in the sicknesses, and like when I have lately I have 4 or 5 different kinds of rheumatism. You know that I had Dr. Bell, a specialist, as he said to me. I never saw a person. They have 4 different kind of rheumatism, 4 absolutely different kind of rheumatism in one person. He said, we know one, but 4. Dr. Bell, and she said, I don't know. I said, maybe they did something. They put something in you. So Irving spoke to somebody from the Dutch government, and they wrote a letter back from Germany.
So how long did they do these experiments? How many months were you?
You see, when you had one injection and you was bleeding and it was all open and there was blisters, you couldn't work and you had to heal up first. So the between, it was maybe 2 months. And then there were more people, and sometimes they tried to,
And that whole time you were in this particular block, and all the other women in this block were also having the experiments done?
A lot of them died. And you know what also, not only that you didn't get enough, all those things, you didn't get enough to eat either. We were always hungry. Okay, we know later in that time, we knew that the gas chambers were showers. And one time the doctors were complaining to the block that the women were smelling. And said, I want to have to give him a bath. Can you remember what a panic it was to give us a bath? That we had to go to a shower. We didn't know what to do. Not for sure they're going to kill us, you know. So every day I was afraid to die. And I never let off. You don't go today. So many people died. I say so many people died. But we were in Block 10 actually in prison. It was not some people in the block who could walk out, but nobody's supposed to know what happened in Block 10. So,
did you have selections as well in Block 10? Was there the morning, the roll calls, the cell-appel?
Oh yeah, for hours and hours and hours and hours. You're standing up. They had to tell everybody. And if some people,
What happened to the women who were too sick to get up for cell-appel?
They get counted separately. If you lay in bed and they say 3 people are in infirmary, or how do you call it? They did. They said they did that. Every day was something. There was razzia, people, telepel, picking up people.